Okay, so we're going to move on to the next phase here, which is tedious to say the least. What I did, because I've just gotten ready to start on this, I'm going to do one side at a time on this. And unfortunately, my webcam isn't that great, so you're not really going to be able to see. But what I did is I actually took a piece of clear tape, wide, like 2-inch tape, and taped right along this part right underneath where the frets are. Okay, so that basically when you're sanding away, you don't like kill the total finish on the side of your um, neck, and the fingerboard, because it's got a nice little edge on it here. As far as there's really no binding, but it's kind of nice the way they polished off the rosewood. So I really don't want to like waste that like I already tried to do to my bridge, which by the way it is playable now. So, but be really careful when you're adjusting these things. I guess most of them are actually adjusted all the way up. I still haven't even put in the guide pins back in here because I really don't see what the use of that is, because this thing isn't going to move. Definitely not. It was a bear just to get it adjusted to the point where I needed to, and still pretty much staying in tune. So what you want to do next, and this is really tricky, and I'm not going to do it all on YouTube because I'm going to be spending a lot of time doing this. But what you want to do is very lightly sand up here and sand on the edges of your frets, because these things are like so sharp. And I mean, parents, if you decide to buy one of these things for your kid, please, for my sake, just because I would hate to see a little kid get hurt, take it to a professional guitar tech and have them set this up and tune it up, because there is no way that I would have wanted to play this before working on it, because it is just bad. It's basically like it'll take your hand off. Bad stuff. So you just very carefully try not to damage the finish, and try not to damage anything. Very slowly, just take this little piece of emery, and I'm using 400 grit. You could probably do 600, would probably work better, but I didn't have it with me right now, and I'm kind of limited on what I have to work with. So, but just very carefully, if you understand what I'm talking about here. Most of you guys that have worked on a guitar will know what I'm talking about. That's what comes along with being a guitar player, and I've been playing for way too long, so I've had way too many guitars, and too many of them ripped off too. And every time you get a new guitar, well, you have to work on it. And unless you got somebody cool like Dan Torres or something that, in your touring, and you can take it into him and say, hey, Dan, take care of this for me, which I actually haven't talked to him in a long time, but if you're ever in Cupertino, I believe it is, and if Dan is still around, man, Dan Torres is one of the best guitar techs you'll ever see. He's got his own Luther shop, and did some work for a lot of incredible musicians. So, but I'm not trying to give him a commercial there, but I used to go to that shop in Cupertino, Dan Torres' guitar shop, man. Some of the most awesome guitars I ever seen. This guy really knew how he was doing. I used to play a bass that was a 66 jazz neck fretless, that he actually shaved the frets on the 66 neck to where it had the frets on it, but it was fretless, and he did an amazing job on it. But enough of all that. So basically what I'm doing here is just very carefully sanding each individual edge of each individual fret here, and was very careful and decided that I would take this, see, oh, you can't see that, can you? Okay, well, taking that, see, and putting that on the edge right on the edge of my neck there, up against the fretboard, so that I'm not grinding away at that like I had to grind away at this. So, and so far that fret, just in the time we've been playing with it, is almost doable. And you want to go really light on them. You don't want to get all gangbusters and crazy like I did on the bridge, trying to adjust it when it really didn't want to adjust. And I was trying to be careful. I even had this on there, had my wide slot, I had this in, had it like set like that, being all careful, and boop, just all it took was one a little too hard on it, you know, happens. So I'm not going to cry. I spent $99, well, $137 with a 2-year warranty on this, which, you know, Epiphone, I'm probably voiding the warranty now, aren't I? Trying to make it playable, but it's all good. I won't tell them if you don't. Okay, so, all right. Let's see. A little better. You just got to go a little bit at a time. And I mean, you can get this wet too if you want to. And actually it will buff and polish a little bit better. But I'm not really wanting to do that at this point, because it'd get all messy and I don't want to get messy. And I'm doing this with the strings on too, and you could take the strings off if you really wanted to. Wow, this thing is actually playing now. Yeah, when it came out of the box, you couldn't even play this thing. It's funny. Cross my heart and hope to die. So, still got a little slight buzz going on. Might be because I got tape on there. Could be. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out, huh? So, you know, just each individual fret. So, like I said, it's going to be long and tedious procedure. So I will see you on the flip side of this one. Later.